What's up guys, welcome to beautiful Carvoeiro that is behind me. We are in southern Portugal. It is Algarve, it is sunny, it is beautiful, and slowly Portuguese government is lifting some of the restrictions during COVID pandemic. But that's not the point. We are here today to show you how to shoot with entry level, or if you want to call it enthusiast level camera, like a pro, how to push your camera to its limit when it comes to landscapes and cityscapes. So see you after intro. Okay, welcome after intro. So today we are going to use EOS Rebel T7i, a very popular Canon camera known in Europe as 800D. And this is nothing really fancy because it's a cheap camera, and the lens we are going to use is a kit lens, 18 to 55 millimeter plastic fantastic as I call them. But using these settings that I will show you step by step will take this camera into next level. You can really take beautiful, sharp photos, but just please follow the steps that I will show you in a moment, okay? And very important disclaimer, all the rules that I'm showing today can be applied to whatever system you're shooting with. It can be Nikon, Olympus, Sony, Panasonic, whatever you're shooting with. Photography is a beautiful thing. It has got some universal language like f-stops, like shutter speed, like ISO value. So the same settings will work on every camera, and this is important for you to remember. So now let's jump right into our camera, to our settings. We'll go back to the studio to show you better what settings you want to apply on this camera. All right, see you soon.
As I mentioned in one of previous episodes, first thing that is one of the most important things to take into consideration is sharpness. So since we are going to be using tripod, if your lens is equipped with image stabilization, first we want to turn off image stabilization. Second thing that you want to switch to is from autofocus to manual focus. This camera does have good autofocusing system, but for sake of education, we want to see or to learn and test manual focus. I want to show you how to use it and how to be 100% sure that your picture is sharp and the focus is exactly there where you want it to be. Okay, since we have this done, let's jump into our menu. And first thing that we want to set here is a timer in Canon. In this model of Canon, we want to go to Q, then we go here to drive, and we set, with touchscreen, we set 2-second timer. We're gonna use 2-second and set. We're gonna use 2-second timer just to avoid any camera shake. The other thing we want to set is f-stop. In this case, in case of landscapes, I'm using anything between 11 and 16, but I think with kit lens, the best setting in our scenario will be 11. Okay, so we have our f-stop set. And the other thing I mentioned in one of the previous episodes is ISO. So you want to keep it as low as possible, and since we will be shooting in full daylight, you want to set it to 100. And in this case, avoid automatic or anything higher because we won't need that. We'll use tripod and we will have full sunlight. So ISO 100. Another thing we want to set is white balance, and it doesn't really matter that much because later we will set this camera into RAW files. But let's do it right and let's learn something new. So we want to click here on white balance and set it to sunlight because we are going to shoot in sunlight. Okay, we press set and we are done with white balance. And the other thing is, since I mentioned we want to switch to RAW files, so we go into menu, we click menu, we go to shooting menu number 1, and here in image quality we set RAW, but you can also set RAW plus L, which creates RAW files and good quality JPEG files. I don't use it too much because I process all the photos, but if you want, you can stay with that and maybe later send JPEGs to your phone and process with some of your favorite phone applications and share it on Instagram or something like that. RAW plus JPEG, this is just perfect. So this is the setting that is, in my opinion, one of the most important settings. Then, the last thing before we go into real life shooting is we want to jump to menu number 5 in case of Canon here, this model, but it will work on any camera, but you have to find it in your system, in your menu. You want to turn on grid display. In case of Canon, the annoying thing is that you have to first switch on live view, because otherwise you won't find these settings. Then go to menu. Then in shooting menu, go to menu number 5, depending on the model, it can be menu number 3 or number 2. And you want to find something that is named grid display. And in grid display, we want to have rule of thirds turned on, since I mentioned that this is the basic way of composing your images, and this is something we want to start with when shooting for landscape images and then submitting them for stock photography websites. So this is what we turn on. Grid display 3 by 3, boom, rule of thirds. Perfect. And this is pretty much it. So we are ready to just jump in to the car and go to our favorite location that is allowed by local laws now and start shooting.
Okay, so let's get started. Let's get right into it. So on this stop dial button here, I set like manual mode, which is represented by letter M on this dial button here, and it's pretty much all the same with all cameras, with all systems you have. Then I want to activate live view mode, which is easier for me to show you framing and which is like designed to work with tripods. So this is very good. So we have this flip screen here on our camera. And first thing we want to do is we want to frame it right. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to use like a basic rule of composition, which is rule of thirds. So I'm looking for something cool. All right, so I'm looking. Maybe now without C, I want to have this, you see this blue thing here and our sky visible and all these beautiful whitewashed buildings here. It's a pretty clean and nice frame. I kind of like it like that. As you see, it's a pretty simple rule. You see the line here, this is rule of thirds. You see the line here, rule of thirds. So it's well composed. I like it. Now I want to set my exposure right. So I don't touch f-stop. We want our f-stop to stay on 11. This will give us super nice and sharp results even with this basic kit lens that we are using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a shutter speed here, and I will go somewhere around 250. No, it's too bright. You see here in manual mode, all the cameras will show us indication if we are overexposed or underexposed. So +1 means that we are one stop overexposed. So I'm going to go down to 0.7 or 0.3. I always like to overexpose a little bit, specifically with Canons. And just making sure if we have 2 seconds. You see we have 2 seconds. And now we don't want to forget about one very important thing. Maybe I will overexpose it a little bit more. We want to set our focus right, our sharpness. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press this zoom button here. And look what it does. It zooms in part of the picture. I'm going to zoom it in even more. And I'm going to rotate on my lens, this ring on my lens, to get this picture perfectly sharp. And now it's perfectly sharp. I'm gonna push it once more, and there we go, we have all the picture. And the only thing left is to press shutter release, and that's it. We have this picture done. Look at that. We can now press play and review if it's sharp. We can zoom it in all the way up, and you see it's perfectly sharp. And now let's maybe change something a little bit. Let's reframe it. Oh, I forgot to tell you about one thing. We're on 28 millimeters, so we're on the widest possible range of this lens. but maybe we can turn it left a little bit, show the cliffs and the whitewashed buildings. And we can straighten the horizon. It's very important to keep your horizon straight. I don't like this blue steel iron thing here, so we're gonna raise it a little bit to have some plants here. All right, and as you see, I'm using the rule of thirds here. Beautifully, you see everything is there, framed according to so-called golden rule. And I'm gonna check if we are overexposed or underexposed. Now we are underexposed. We have more darker elements here, so we want to overexpose it, and we press the button, and the picture is done. So now what we want to do, maybe we want to change location and try something else, okay? Okay, there we go again. We have another frame here. Let me show you in live view mode. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to frame it right now. So I think we can have this shot done. It's not bad, maybe a little bit down. Okay, and boom. So it's done, and what I feel like we lack some depth here, so we want to have something that creates a context. Look at that, we go down, we straighten the horizon, we are still using this rule of thirds, and look at this shot. It's just perfect. We're on the widest possible angle here with this kit lens, but still it does the job. Look at that. Still f11, we are checking our light, 250 of a second, ISO 100, and bang. So this is it, guys. You have like full knowledge how to shoot like a pro with just a simple entry level or enthusiast level, however you call it, camera and kit lens. You can really do a lot with those lenses. You can really do a lot with equipment that you already have. Whatever it is it Nikon, is it Olympus, is it Sony, whatever it is, using these simple rules that I have just showed, that you've just seen, it's like you can take your photography to next level. And as I said before, in next level, I want to take you to our computer and show you how to process those photos, how to push them further, how to make them look just beautiful, and what is most important for some of you watching here, to sell those pictures, to monetize your hobby. So this is Jacek Sputnik. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please leave thumbs up, and I hope you found it entertaining, and I see you in the next episode.